Now stop making these 10 editing mistakes right now, guys. Tip number 1, you're breaking the 180-degree rule. But Jordy, what even is that, beast? Well, this rule is created to keep the viewer orientated in the scene. For example, a video of two people talking to each other. When filming, you want all your camera angles at one side of the axis. This way it looks like the characters are looking at each other. But what if we move one camera over that axis? Well, then it looks like they are looking in the same direction. And this breaks the 180-degree rule and the viewer will be confused. Unless you're doing this intentionally, it's wrong. Now, luckily, there's a fix in this in post-production. Here you can see both shots in the timeline. Find the horizontal flip effects and drag it onto the second video. There you go. You can also put this on the first clip instead. The result will be the same, of course. And the same thing can be done with a car that is suddenly driving into the wrong direction. Now, this is a great quick fix, but be aware because we flipped the camera. The lighting is at the wrong side, as well as text can be flipped as well. So keep that in mind when deciding if you want to reshoot the video or edit it. Mistake number 2, making the wrong decision on where you set a cut. Here we have two clips of a car passing by on two whole different locations. Now, depending on where we add the cut, we can make it look like the car is in fact in a different location, or we can make it look like the cameras are right next to each other. I know, that's the magic of editing, guys. Now, on the first clip, we set the cut when the car is out of the frame. On the second clip, we set the cut right before the car comes into the frame. This way, it looks like two different locations because we suggest that something happens in between the two shots. If we want to make it look like the car is in the same spot, and set the cut on the first clip where we still see a small part of the car. On the second clip, we make sure that we already see a part of the car in the first frame. That way the two shots connect to each other and there can't be anything in between, which gives the illusion that both clips were shot in the same location. So depending on your story, you need to choose the correct cuts. Mistake number 3. So you want to import this clip. You move everything to the right and then you drag it in a timeline. It's such a waste of time. Just hold down Ctrl on your keyboard and then drag the video where you want it to be. Premiere will move everything out of the way for you and make sure that everything snaps together. Mistake number 4, you're creating some nice text on your video. Stop trying to gamble the middle of the screen. Simply hold down Ctrl and it will snap to the middle for you. 5, using transitions at the wrong time, like this. Transitions can make or break your video. You see what I did there? Putting a transition at the wrong place will destroy the pacing and confuse the viewer, but using transitions at the right spot will enhance the viewer's orientation, like switching between scenes or locations or during a B-roll sequence. Keep in mind that the best transition is most of the time a simple cut. Mistake number 6, when making a graphic animation, don't just stack your layers on top of each other unless you want your timeline to look like this. Now, all you need to do is create one graphics layer, then go to the window menu on top and choose Essential Graphics. Now, you can create multiple layers in here and even drag effects in there. So that means you can create complex graphics animations in one single layer. And speaking of graphic animations, guys, they take a lot of time to create. That is why I love using the Storyblocks plugin, where I can just download a template in no time. So just browse for something and click on the download button. Then in the Essential Graphics panel, you can change the text to whatever you like. It's that easy. Also, a big thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Besides templates, you can also find more than 1 million high-quality royalty-free stock assets, all in HD or 4K resolution. You can download an unlimited amount of those, like green screen videos, animated backgrounds, or just some specific footage. Now you can use them in your social media videos without having to worry about copyright issues. On other stock websites, you need to pay an expensive price per download, but with Storyblocks, you will get everything for one set price that you can pay monthly or annually. I also have my very own landing page on Storyblocks. Here you can download and use my footage. These are coming from travel videos to car crashes and so much more. They are all shot in a log color profile so that you have the full control over color grading. I've been using Storyblocks now for years and I can truly recommend it to any creative. So take back your creative control with Storyblocks unlimited royalty-free stock library and tools today by going to storyblocks.com/Premiere Basics or simply click the first link in the description down below. And now, back to Premiere. Which is mistake number 7, bad framing. So you made a video of someone looking to the right, but you left a lot of space. This shot is weird because there isn't much going on in here. Now to fix that, go to the effects controls and click on the motion property. That way we can adjust the scale and position until the character is more on the left. I'm applying the rule of thirds framing to the shot, which is coming from a course learned filmmaking from beginner to pro, which I can't say yet, guys, but shh, it's part of the 5-day deal bundle as well. well, go check out the link in the description, but don't tell anyone. Mistake number 8, you're using reverb wrong. Now, don't just add reverb onto your audio clip because when you play it back, the reverb will stop when the clip stops as well. There's a workaround though. Just hold down Ctrl and click to create a volume keyframe. Create a second one and drag it down to cut off the audio. This way you cut the audio, but the reverb will continue. Number 9, flash frames. These are small frames that you accidentally leave in your video. This will make your video look very unprofessional, obviously. Now, to prevent this from happening, make sure that the snap and timeline function is enabled. This way, when you're dragging clips around, they will snap against each other. And a shortcut for this is S, by the way. S also stands for super duper, I'm gonna like this video. Alright, here's another example of the flash frame. Take a look at this clip. The cut is clearly covered with an animation, so there can't be a flash frame, right? Indeed, but what if I put a transition on this animation like this? Now we can see the second clip for a few frames because the animation doesn't cover the video anymore. So make sure to adjust the transition speed so that it ends before the cut. And finally, mistake number 10, let's say that you don't want this part of the video. You can take the razor tool, set a cut, select it, and delete it, but that's a waste of time. Instead, move the playhead to the spot where you want it to cut off. Then press the W on your keyboard to remove everything from the right side of your playheads. It will automatically remove that part and close the gap. And you can do the same thing on the left side, by the way. Just press the Q button on your keyboard. Oh, and I've got a bonus tip, guys. Your settings are wrong and you can make Premiere a whole lot faster, and I'll share those secrets in the video here on my left. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay creative.